Howdy everyone. In my last video I laid out a working framework that helps those like you and me to get out of our frequently visited mind space. Today I'm going to dive much deeper into that framework and explain it in a way that you can use it or explain it to a loved one that might be struggling. The world is at stake right now. From the threat of war to everyday aches and pains to our rights being used as leverage. There are few people who never struggled to handle complex problems, and I'm not one of them. I had to teach myself ways around everything. It started with a wild home life, then it turned to depression, eventually turning around into an anxiety-riddled ADHD. As I kept solving these problems, they would only multiply. I got so sick of fighting the Hydra that I decided to ride it. Now these puzzles are where I thrive. They're why I'm alive, and I'm going to teach you the same in steps less than 5. Step 1. Now, my model is a really good start, but it's about formatting your mind right and repeated testing. Keep that in mind when you're putting into effect these 4 steps. The first step is to find the path of least resistance. This means basically what you think it does, and yes, it also means you get to be lazy, in a way. So let's sit and think. If you were facing an absolutely terrible problem, like you're out of toilet paper, the easiest way to go about fixing that might be to go to your neighbor's house and buy some toilet paper from him, or just steal a pair of your girlfriend's socks. To keep this metaphor in true perspective, you can treat the toilet paper as your dopamine, the neighbor as your close friend, and the socks, well, they're just dirty pair of socks. It's impossible for me to list every problem and its easiest route in this one video, but if you use my reasoning, you will be able to work this metaphor into every ounce of your daily life. I am also going to be seriously devoted to answering comments and DMs to help in any way with this part of the process. I will be creating a PDF on this whole model eventually. Until then, all I can do is keep providing as much content as possible. Step 2. Now that you understand how to figure out the easiest route to take, it's time to force a state. This depends on what puzzle you're trying to solve. A perfect instance of this is when you're dealing with any emotion that you can't seem to handle in the moment, and you decide to sit back and turn on your favorite track. If you're feeling depressed and hopeless, you might choose something nostalgic, something happy, or something that takes charge, like Anything by Queen. On the other hand, if you're feeling angry, you might turn on something like vengeful music or angry music, or again something like Queen to take back control. Because as we all know, anger is notorious for taking charge. This state is easily considered meditative, and the Department of Psychology says that neuroimaging techniques have shown that meditation improves activation and connectivity in brain areas related to self-regulation. This means that, to summarize this step, you must find the meditative or otherwise state that will directly lead to the correct synapses firing in your brain that will then open the door to the next step. Step 3. At this point, you might be getting discouraged. I might have even lost you with the last step, but if you're still putting in the effort, congrats. You're earning this, and that's what it's going to take to stick. After you've found the right physical state, dig around in your mind a bit. Dig a deep enough hole that you can see the absolute depths of yourself and the state that you are now in. At this point, if you've used my model correctly, it'll be easy to slightly adjust small things in your environment to suit your needs in the moment. If you need some examples of sensations to start with, maybe it's something like changing the vibe of the track if you're meditating through music. If your perfect state is something more like a cold plunge, maybe you need to slowly add hot water to acclimate your mind and not reverse any of the progress that you've made. It's all up to you and the problem. I do have to give you a warning though, that not all states are safe. I do not recommend trying anything extreme without a doctor's permission and supervision. For more examples of sensations to start with and states to try out, the PDF is going to be way more helpful than I could be even in a series of videos. I'll let you know when that's available. Step 4. Last step. Alright, this is the last step and it's the simplest as well. All you have left to do is review and reflect. The simplest question to ask yourself is, do you know the way? No, but in all seriousness, did the session solve it? Or do you need to go over all the parameters so that you can tweak them for the next session? You'll know that it worked if you feel a sense of accomplishment, relaxation, relief, a kind of existential hope, or just were able to clear your mind enough to solve the problem. To tweak the parameters, I think you got this now. You can go back to step 3 if you need to put your mind back in adjustment mode, but I am so confident that for the next few years, using this model, you're going to the moon. Till next time, the link to my TikTok is in my bio, and I'll see you in the next one.